I saw my life really begin to change. Things started to open up for me. New opportunities that I never expected in singing started being offered to me. And this was literally just right after I moved away from one of the most important cities for arts and entertainment.
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello. This is Jennifer J. Hammond. I'm so excited. I love when we can do anything to educate, inspire, and empower you. And so my next guest, boy, does she do, I want to say, the inspirational part so incredibly well. So she is a native to Portland, Oregon, and now she resided in New York City, but recently she has moved, and we're going to talk about that, moving from New York City down to Florida. But she is a vocal performance graduate from Berklee College of Music. So DeAnna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So I'm so excited. Obviously, my brother's in music and I love music. It's one of my favorite things in the world. My brother he has a purpose to change the world, and he believes that by getting everybody to either use their voice, as he calls their instrument, or what other instrument they love, whether it's a violin or piano or guitar, that he believes that we can change the world and create world peace.
Wow.
I love that. I love the idea, and it's so big and it's so much fun because I've had so much fun watching him perform on many stages. And I think you have this amazing, I've had the opportunity to see you live perform. And I think you have an incredible gift to inspire people. And I feel it's so important. So I'm going to start with the beginning. How did you know you had a gift, and why did you decide to follow your gift? Because so many people that are out there, I know, are going to be thinking, well, either themselves or maybe someone they know, even a child that they might have. How did you know? When did you discover your gift, and how did you know to follow it?
That's a great question, and I'm so happy to talk about that. So it happened when I was about 7 years old. I was listening to The Little Mermaid, and I think everybody knows that, young and old. And I remember falling in love with her song, Ariel's song, and I kept singing it over and over again. And one day I was in the laundry room singing it, and my sister burst out of her room and said, "Oh my God, The Little Mermaid's on TV." And then I opened the laundry door and I was like, no, it was me.
Oh.
And so I kind of knew at that moment that I had a gift. And it always just felt so wonderful to sing. And I think a lot of people who do sing know the joy that singing can bring. And so at that point, I really felt like I have to do this somehow. I don't know how. I'm only like 7 years old. But this has to be a part of my life. But funny thing is, it's a very difficult career to follow. And there's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of competition. So believe it or not, I actually pursued accounting for 10 years before I really had the courage to give it like the final push. And finally, just at a later age in my life, let me just say that I finally had the realization that I cannot go to my grave without really fully having tried to pursue this. And it's so funny, at the moment that I made that decision for myself, that's when everything started to happen. And literally within a year, I auditioned for The King and I booked the lead role in the national tour of The King and I, which, it's kind of like, it's amazing. It's just, and I just say to everybody, it all starts with the decision to do that special something for yourself and for your purposes.
Thank you. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. Yeah. And I think that so many of us have gifts inside that we just do not make that decision. And so they get locked inside. And I think that's such a great way to put it. Don't go to your grave, keeping those gifts locked inside, especially because like your gift, it brings so much inspiration and I want to say encouragement and hope and all of those things for anyone who has the opportunity to hear you and experience you. I think it's such an amazing thing. And again, so often we get stuck in the fear. We don't do it. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about, I know one of the other things that's really important recently, my brother moved out of Washington, D.C. And I know you've been in New York City, and he moved into Hawaii.
Oh,
and
wow.
I giggle when I say that because, now he loves his environment. It is a change of environment that has really made him blossom in a way that is just remarkable. And I wanted to see if you would talk a little bit about, the environment that you're in can either help you with whatever your goals are in life, or I think that they can really prevent you from moving forward. And so would you talk a little bit about your choices? And I know recently you moved from New York to Florida.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. Change of environment is always a good thing once in a while, but I think that we made the decision to move to Florida because we really wanted a better quality of life. And New York is a fantastic city. It's got so much to offer, but that also comes with a pretty heavy price tag. And honestly, I don't feel like most people can live the quality of life that they deserve at that price tag. And so we felt that, with what we have, we could really live in a beautiful surrounding. I really wanted to create a home for myself and to create an aesthetic space for myself. So that's why we moved to Florida. And I know a lot of people have already made that move. And I think a lot more might make that move down here. And Florida's great. I highly recommend Florida. I hope it doesn't get too crowded. But that being said, when I moved down to Florida, there's just something so nice about the people that are here. And I just felt this overwhelming sense of well-being. And with the added space that I got for the money that we were putting and the space to create aesthetics and beauty, I saw my life really begin to change. Things started to open up for me. New opportunities that I never expected in singing started being offered to me. And this was literally just right after I moved away from one of the most important cities for arts and entertainment, but yet I was getting bigger and better opportunities after I moved here. So I thought that was so fascinating and absolutely wonderful.
I agree. And I think that's also just in general, so often I think we have become resistant to change because it seems scary on the other side. And as you just said, because logically in New York City, you should be getting your biggest opportunities, right? Because that seems like the logical thing. And yet I think so often we don't even explore or go into action into changing our lives because we're afraid that the other side, oh, no, we might be losing something. We might get stuck in a loss. And so often on the other side of that fear was actually the opportunity that we had always been searching for.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think behind all of that opportunity, again, is that decision to create space for yourself and to create the life you want. And once you make that decision, everything starts to happen for you. So
I agree.
People to do that.
As you know, with home, I'm in real estate, and I just think that your home is one of your most sacred spaces. And no matter where your home is, even if it's a tiny little space or whether it's a big luxurious space, I think it's so important that you make your home, again, as you just said, you make the decision that your home is your sanctuary, because you have to decide it is. Because you also, I think so often people forget about that you are constantly evaluating yourself when you want to or not. You evaluate, oh, my home is so ugly, or oh, I have a bad hair day, or oh, I don't look very good today, or oh, that didn't sound good. You're always evaluating yourself as good or bad. And you do that with your surroundings as well. And you have to decide that your home is your sanctuary and that it's a wonderful sanctuary. It's perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be today, right?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And you have to realize that aesthetics begets aesthetics. So if the place that you're residing in all the time is aesthetic, that allows you to put out more of that, whether it's through art, whether it's through your work, it just starts to pour out of you.
I agree 100%. And I love that you said that it has to be a decision, because I think so often people reserve it. Well, when I have my dream home, then it'll be, and they keep reserving that decision, and you got to make that decision. It's great now, today. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think what's so great is there are places in the United States where you can make that a reality. You just have to find them. And I hope so many people do that this year or the next year.
Yeah. I agree. I hope that that is one of my intentions, is that there will, this, even through your voice and through your story, that will inspire many to find their home, whatever that home is, to create that home. And then also just to make a decision today that their home is perfect for whatever they need, and that they can continue to create the beauty and aesthetics that they need to, again, as you said, aesthetics beget more aesthetics. You'll just continue to create more aesthetics by being aesthetic. So I want to talk a little bit, changing the subject, produce this song.
Okay, so I started a YouTube channel last year during pandemic, because I think that was a time when a lot of us started reevaluating our purpose. What are we here to do? So I really honed in on being able to make music on my own schedule, not when some producer wants me to be in a show. I decided I'm going to be cause over when I'm going to put out music. So I started that.
Done.
And thank you. And I'm growing my fan base gradually, which is great. And I started to realize, I really need to make my music available to be listened to on any sort of streaming platform, so that they don't always have to dial into YouTube. They can, of course, always go there. So then I was like, all right, I need to make an album. Now, making an album is quite a big feat, and it was about September when I realized I wanted to do this. So I was like, let me start with one song so that I can get familiar with the process of how to do this. And in this day and age, it's so great. Every artist can take responsibility for their work and put it out there. It's actually very easy to do, believe it or not. So I picked Ave Maria because it's a classic holiday favorite, but it was also a song that wouldn't leave me alone. I had other options, but I kept coming back to Ave Maria. I was like, okay, there's something in here. And so I will adventure to say that it was a calling.
Yes.
And I've heard a lot of writers may often say that, I just felt the words flowing out of me. I didn't even feel like I was writing it. And I very much felt the same way when I was producing Ave Maria. It was a gargantuan task. I actually had an orchestra from Budapest, Hungary, do the live instrumentation for it. So it's not computer generated music. It's completely live. It was 32 instrumentalists playing on it. So that was only one of the major aspects of it. So it takes a lot of energy to put something like this together. But I literally felt like there was a source of energy that I was getting that I don't know where it came from. And so I will venture to say it was from a higher power, the creator, God, which is perfect for Christmas, because the whole message of Christmas is God is always with you. Jesus Christ was given to this earth so that you could always be with God. And I was like, this is just all divine inspired. And I think that's something that artists are very lucky to experience on a regular basis, is that divine inspiration. And I think that's why artists are so important, because they're kind of like a channel or a way to access that sort of spiritual quality. So that is the story behind why I did Ave Maria.
Well, I love it. I think it's perfect. Yay!
Yay!
So we'll insert the song in here and play this song, because I want people to hear it on this episode, whether they're, again, and I know you also, you produced a video. I did get to watch your two. Oh my gosh, the official music video is extraordinary. And I'm so grateful to have you and to be able to have this time to talk to you. And as you continue to create and produce, I'd love to have you come back and talk more about how you're changing the world and putting more aesthetics in the world. So would you tell people, if they're interested, how do they get a hold of, well, one, how do they listen to the song? And two, your YouTube channel, anything you'd like to share?
Great. So the single Ave Maria under DeAnna Choi, CHOI, is available on all streaming platforms, including Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora. I think those are like the real popular ones, so you won't have trouble finding it there. Also, my YouTube channel, also under the name DeAnna Choi, DeAnna. It's available there. I would love for people to watch the video because I think it just really gives the message of what it's like to have that Christmas spirit inside you. So that would be an honor if people could watch that. I'm also on Instagram, DeAnna_Choi, and Facebook, DeAnna Choi. So please feel free to follow me, reach out. I'd love to have conversation with people.
Well, I love it. And I love all that you're doing. Thank you so much. And as you know, I love to conclude each one of my episodes with a yay. So will you lift your voice and say yay with me?
Of course.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Jack Canfield. You may know me as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And if you want more help in getting from where you are to where you want to be, I want to encourage you to listen to the Jennifer Hammond Show